What do you mean by historical view? Because we are collecting huge amount of data, and that data is getting stored somewhere in the huge data warehouse, or for a particular domain we can say a data mart. So when we have this huge amount of data collected, so we can have the historical perspective. That means how from the history point of view the things are going on. So that is your historical current, that is the currently how the things are going on, or the predictive views, that means how the business operations are going to perform, what kind of expectation we can keep from that particular business operation, and how that particular business operation is going to help um, in taking a particular decision. Okay, so using data that has been gathered into the data warehouse or the data mart, occasionally working from the operational data. So these software elements support the reporting, interactive, that is slice and dice, pivot table analysis, then visualization, and the statistical data mining. That means you have these type of interactive dashboards available, wherein you can do the kind of slice and dice operation. That means now you have the huge amount of data, and that out of huge amount of data, if you want to look at a particular chunk of data, then that can be done with the help of these interactive boards or interactive reports, or it can support a pivot table analysis. That means huge amount of data can be represented in the term of graph, or the way I want to look at the cumulative data. That means suppose I want to see a particular sales and distribution of a particular region, then region wise, out of the huge collection of the data, region wise I can see a particular region's data by using this particular type of reports. So that is the beauty of this, that you can see the things with the help of the pivot table analysis. Then there are number of visualization tools available, and all these visualization tools are of immense importance because they are supporting the kind of data mining which is required for that. Okay, so applications tackles the sales, production, finance, and many other sources of business data for the purpose that include business performance management. Then information is gathered about the other companies in the same industry, which is known as a benchmarking, and then kind of comparison is done. So all these things like sales, production, finance, and many other sources of business data are kept into consideration for doing all these kind of benchmarking. Why benchmarking is required or important? Because with the help of the benchmarking, you came to know that a particular process or a particular business is working up to mark or not. So that is why this benchmarking is very, very important. Then what are the trends? So enterprise information management brings the business intelligence and the enterprise content management together, and now it is not only limited to the larger companies. Now it is being getting done with the help of the smaller businesses also. Okay, so currently organizations are moving towards the operational business intelligence, which is currently underserved and uncontested by the vendors. So that means even smaller and smaller businesses are now doing with the help of business analytics, as they now can have a power of data behind their every nitty-gritty decisions that they want to take in their day-to-day businesses. Okay, so traditionally this BI was only for the top companies, but now there is a paradigm shift and it is moving towards taking the business intelligence to the bottom of the pyramid with the focus of self-service business intelligence. That means now the smaller and smaller companies are getting the this benefit of this business intelligence. Okay, why? Because now vendors are also looking towards the smaller and smaller business owner to have this kind of business intelligence, wherein they are trying to have make it a self service business intelligence. Okay, now what are the concept in it? Okay, so from functional point of view, we have these groups of components. So transactional or operational system, that is the source data system, then data transfer processes, that is the data interfaces, that is ETL processes, then data repositories, and there are certain number of final user tools and information distribution and control is also available. Okay, so from this point of view we are going to see the business intelligence concept. So the first one is your transactional or operational system source data system. Okay, so the main source of the business intelligence data to be analyzed is all data captured, processed and reported by all the core transactional system for the company or the organization. That means now you have this business intelligence data that needs to be analyzed, and that analysis to be done on the data captured, processed and reported by all the business processes. That means whatever business processes we are adopting, all these business processes will be doing this kind of thing, that is the data processing or reporting, and then we are dealing with this type of data. Then data transfer process, so ETL process, extract, transform and load process. That means from, because we are going to get the data from the heterogeneous resources, and that is why you need to follow the ETL process. Okay, why? Because you have n number of sources, and all these n number of sources are creating data in their own formats. Okay, so some may be some may be structured, some may be unstructured, or some may be semi structured. So you have all these three types of formats. Like you have database management system point of view, if we think, then that particular database management system, a relational database management system, will always require the data to be in a structured format, because there they have the fixed structure for the database management system. If you want to extract the data directly from any social media website, then it is very difficult for a relational database management system to accommodate all these alphanumeric comments which are there in our social media. Okay, so some data may be unstructured, some data may be structured, some data may be mix and match of structured and unstructured data, that is a semi structured data. So you are extracting the data from n number of sources, that is why you have E, and then you are bound to transform that data, transform from unstructured to structured or semi structured to structured, and then and only then you will be able to process that data. And that is why loading process is done after processing of transformation. That means now you are collecting the data from the heterogeneous resources, all these data which are there in the heterogeneous resource, all these data will be in a structured, semi-structured or unstructured format, and then you need to perform a transformation on that data, and once you apply the transformation, you will be able to load that data for the further processing with the help of the this business analytics. Okay, so all necessary data must be processed from the source data systems to specialized repositories, or to show the final users. These data interfaces are called as ETL, that is extract, transform and load processes. Okay, so I think this point is clear to you. Then next is your data repositories. Why? Because now you are collecting the data from the heterogeneous resources. There will be n number of sources, and depending upon the size and reach of this repository, it could be named as a data warehouse. Why? Because the data is there, it is not in MB, GB, it is in petabyte or terabyte, or even some data warehouse may contain the zettabyte amount of data. Okay, so when the stored data is about all organization or most of this organization, or could be named data mart, when the data is stored about the isolated department or the organizational units. Okay, so the concept, there are two concepts here. Okay, you need to understand these two concepts very clearly, that there is a concept of data warehouse. Okay, so data warehouse means it is a large collection, huge collection about number of organization or many organization. Okay, and there is a concept of data mart. Now this data mart, suppose I am saying that this is a particular data mart, then this data mart is related to a particular business unit. Okay, this is particularly related to a business unit. That means from the larger context point of view, if I am saying that this is a particular organization ABC, then from this ABC organization, the business unit of say purchasing would be a data mart. So there, in that particular data mart, all the data related to purchases done by that organization for a particular cause will be stored here. Okay, so would be named data mart when the stored data is about isolated departments or the organizational units or the business units. Okay, so that is your concept of data warehouse and data mart. So you have huge collection of data, and that is why these concepts are of uh, from the concept of data repositories. Then there is a user tools. Okay, so out of these use, see why we are doing all these exercises, because we want that a business manager or the business person who is a decision maker should be able to take certain decision based on the data. Okay, and that is from that point of view, the user tools are very very important. Okay, so for obtaining, querying, analyzing and reporting valuable information, the users have special tool that access the data warehouse or the data marts, and these tools are the data repositories for the document and inform to the user what is access data and what is the meaning when that data is getting queried. Okay, so out of the huge collection of the data, you are trying to do analysis, and based on that analysis, the final user should be able to take out certain decision. Okay, so that is your user tools. Then information distribution and control, so regular reports, news, other information must be delivered in timely and secure fashion to any selected way like email, mobile, web, or other appropriate to the appropriate personnel. Now here there is a very important concept that the data which is intended to be shared with the particular user must be shared with that user only. It should not happen that this particular data or piece of data which needs to be shared for the manager is getting access by the, say, a third or fourth class, you can say, the uh, employee. So that means, suppose a peon is able to access the data which is intended to be accessed by the manager, then it is of no use. Okay, so that is why you need to keep the control. That means the information should be distributed to a particular student or a particular manager if that particular manager is intended for that purpose. If suppose someone who is not intended to get that information is getting the information, then there is a very huge problem from the security point of view. Okay, and that is why the information distribution and control is of utmost importance. Okay, then how it is helping for better decision making. So it is the need for the faster decision making in the environment of increasing complexity and information overload. So BI applications help the enterprise to take fast-based decision rapidly by better utilizing the data which is presented from inside and outside the organization. Okay, so there are three broad phases. So from office automation to business intelligence, most of the enterprises have passed phase one and phase two to reap the benefits of the phase three. Okay, so all these three phases that we are going to see